So
They talking why I'm not on cam because I need a haircut.
So do I.
Not the flash. Not the trying to give people a little tease.
Get a tease. Nope, not about to catch me.
And then we went live. We went live a couple of days ago, or weeks ago.
When? On Twitch?
For X-Men 97, Mike. That was 2 weeks ago.
Right. That was right.
2 weeks ago. X-Men 97.
Yes, everyone, thank you for joining us. Today, we are going to talk about the first half of season 2 of House of the Dragons. And there's a lot going on.
I mean, so much is happening. It made like
triplets,
huh?
See you, messy.
Wait a minute. What did I tell you? I birthed them. That's it. I birthed them. I'm their father. I'm their fairy godmother.
Period. No, period, though. Mike did come up with the term. He did coin the term.
Yep. So, I'm just a supervisor. Producing. Special guest. Oh. Y'all so silly. Why y'all so silly? No. Get your asses on in here. Now. Get y'all behinds on in this review.
Because every time House of the Dragon premieres, the timeline is in chaos. And I love it. The timeline is in shambles. And it is the funniest thing in the world.
We love to hear it.
Right, because the House of the Dragons fandom is hilarious.
Hey, Mike, is your monitor turned down? Because we echo in big style.
My monitor is turned down and my game turned down, so I don't know what to tell you because I don't hear no echo.
Is it me?
Don't be getting messy.
Already starting it already.
God damn, girl. Can we get the 15 minutes in before you start being messy?
I'm just saying.
When the hoe always on PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Party, he be the one that's echoing.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now, what we not gonna do is lie on the YouTubes now.
You've been saying that for some.
We not gonna lie on YouTube
some years
and say that you wasn't just echoing while we was playing Fortnite.
We wasn't. I wasn't echoing. I ain't know it. You ain't say no echo.
Sound off in the chat. 14 viewers. Sound off. Where y'all at? What y'all doing? What's your favorite episode? Who's your favorite character? What's
and who's your favorite dragon?
Chat?
And what's your favorite dragon? Let us know
what's
who
your favorite dragon is. Did you read the books? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe. If you're on our Twitter page right now, follow that good old Twitter. That good old Modiversity. Yeah.
Period. So let's kick this off with episode 1 of season 2. So it first starts off with Cregan Stark and his voiceover and, pretty much talking about his family's history about guarding the wall. And we see Jace there pretty much trying to get him to pledge his loyalty to Team Black. But he's saying, but Cregan is saying that he can't handle his people because there's a bigger threat. And we know what that threat is. If you watch the films, we know what threat is. It's the White Walkers. They're guarding the wall from the White Walkers from trying to come in. They don't necessarily know that just yet, but they know there's a bigger threat out there. So Cregan's like, I can only give you 2,000 to the oldest of my men.
I got a quick interject real quick. Shout outs to men saying that their favorite character is Allison's Plan B cocktail. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that for sure.
So Jace is there, and they get a Raven from her saying that Luke has. And we go to just the aftermath. Those Greens, trying to figure out what to do next because Aemon killed Viserys. Well, Vhagar ate him and Arrakis. So it's the Blacks trying to retaliate the Greens because of what they did to Luke. And so Rhaenyra's gone at this time. She's trying to find Luke's body. And as she's searching, she comes across Arrakis' wing. And that's all she had. And Luke's cloak. And that is it. And she only says, and Emma Darcy, they delivered this line to perfection. And so she only had one. Rhaenyra only had one line. She said, "I want Aemon Targaryen."
Mike.
Yeah.
Mute for me real quick. Now say something.
It's not me.
The echo doesn't stop. Because every time I talk.
Okay, how about this? Y'all have fun tonight, then.
Oh my God, Mike, I'm trying. I'm not being funny.
Don't worry about it. I'm in the comments. It's okay.
Oh, okay. So Daemon has the idea to hire a soldier whose loyalty is not to the Greens, and they also hire a rat catcher, and we know them through lore as Blood and Cheese, just Blood and Cheese. And when they go to the Red Keep, they sneak in, and Aemon's not there. And so they're like, you know what? We can't leave without something. Like, if they pulled a Denzel, like, I'm leaving here with something. Because if they come back to Dragonstone without any type of physical evidence or tangible evidence of retribution, then Daemon will have their head. Because Daemon don't play. So they're like, okay, we need to figure something out. So they go to the bedchambers of Helena and the children, and they kill the prince. Cut it. You don't see it, but they cut off his head, put it in a bag. And you're like, oh, that's Blood and Cheese. Oh, wow, they did it. They actually did it. And lo and behold, we're going to get to Team Greens in a second, but when Helena goes up to Allison's room to tell her what happened, Allison is having sex with Kristen Cole. Like, what? It's like y'all two are the biggest hypocrites in all of Westeros. Like, what are y'all like? This is why people can't stand y'all. Because y'all want to get on Rhaenyra for having kids outside of her marriage. And here y'all are doing like the Team Green gets on my nerves. If y'all don't know by now, I'm completely Team Black. But yeah, and just they get on my nerves. But what y'all think?
Yeah, this was just I'm gonna go on and expand on my thought as we get further into the review. But the way Team Green operate is like watching Dunder Mifflin in The Office. Is just a group of idiots and slackers doing the worst job imaginable, and then being shocked when things don't go their way.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's astonishing to me how they like it's very astonishing that like they weren't expecting retribution, or rather Otto wasn't expecting Aegon to be this much, of a handful. He just was like, well, he can be controlled, he can do this, that, and the third. And then as we see with after the aftermath of Blood and Cheese, which shook me to my core. I know a lot of y'all book readers were like, oh, well, this was tame compared to what happened in the book. I am a wet noodle. Okay. I'm not, well, not a wet noodle, but I'm an uncouth noodle. Okay. So I'm not used to that type of depravity that they give in Game of Thrones universe. So it shook me to my core. So just seeing how all of that is effectively the Green's fault, because if Alicent wasn't being a busy Betty with Cole's bitch ass, maybe she would have one more grandson to her name. So it's a wild game that's being played. Even though the blacks, Damon could have did a better job making sure the correct person didn't leave King's Landing that night, but someone did get eaten by a dragon first. So just my 2 cents on it.
What about you, Mike?
1.
Just one?
Just 1.
Right? So, oh my God. Just one? That's all you gotta say is just one?
And also, can we talk about when Jace comes back and Bela is the one who escorts him to Rhaenyra's chamber so Rhaenyra could tell him, what really happened, pretty much them talking about Luke's passing, and just, Jace is trying to hold it together. Like, he's trying to be a good soldier and let the queen know of his accomplishments, about all the people that he was able to bring to her side, and he just breaks, like, halfway through, he just breaks down. Harry and Emma's acting in that, like, chef's kiss. Man. And can we also talk about Aegon's ruling style?
Aegon is a hot freaking mess. Like, he's a childish man, baby. But I really think that's just because of how he was raised. He was always like that, even as a kid. And he's just going through it. Well, I can't wait till we get a couple when we can talk about Sunday's episode. Like, his emotions from as a kid to now and what he's been through this season, it really has changed his whole perspective of how he needs to act as a king and moving forward as a character. I was kind of happy everything that happened, because it was like, well, not like the kid and everything, but just far as his development for the last 2 episodes, for him to realize that how you're acting is a childish, and no shade, nobody is still listening to you,
Because, like, when he was on the throne, he was trying to delegate, he was trying to do it his way, and Otto was like, that's not how things are done. Like, it's like, oh, okay. So he would have to keep changing, his rulings or whatever he said, because Otto kept looking at him like, yeah, that's not how this is done. That's not how this goes. And it's just like, that's what y'all get. That's what y'all get for trying to put this boy on the throne and him not having any type of background. Like y'all really didn't school him properly on politics, like how to truly rule. Like, at least Rhaenyra is a scholar. She at least knew, how to do that. But like Aegon, like he has no just any kind of couth when it comes to politics and how to maneuver as a ruler. You know what I mean? Like y'all want to put this boy on the throne so bad, but y'all didn't really put things in motion far as him to make sure that he was actually a good ruler once he got on the throne. Like it that's what y'all get. That's what I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what y'all get.
Mike, since you've been dipping, getting real book teas as well, what do you like, especially with episode 2? What was your major takeaways from the fallout of Blood and Cheese?
The friend that I have that has read all the books, she was more like, it was tame, but she understood why they tamed it because of television and everything. And everything that happened in the second episode was more or less the same. It's just in different places of how it was presented. I enjoyed it. Even when I thought about Blood and Cheese, I was like, child, because I heard blood and cheese, blood and cheese, blood and cheese, blood and cheese. But when it actually came out, I was like, oh, that's tame. But I think the emotions behind how it travels through the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Same. I will say that with me, I was expecting the worst and received the worst. And when I saw the funeral with them, showing showing that he died and riding him around King's Landing, the claustrophobia of it all was like they shot that very well. I won't lie, I let the reputation of Game of Thrones as a series kind of dupe me because I thought that it was going to go super duper left. I thought it was just like going to hit a bump and the poor baby's head was going to fall off the carriage and that was going to like be a big old scene and things like that. So it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat on if that was going to happen, which I feel like that's what the scene wanted me to feel as a new viewer. That's what they were going for. So I feel like they did a very wonderful job with that. Hearing Rhaenyra's reaction to that, that just it was so interesting to me because the first episode is her silent rage. She only had one line the entire episode, which is bring me to Aemon Targaryen. And then when we get to the second episode, we're reminded of the Rhaenyra that we all fell in love with, a kind soul, someone who takes her duty very seriously, someone who understands the importance of individuals who don't really have anything to do with the conflict and don't want to bring it to their doorstep. And so her reaction to it is very like a sobering reality. Like, okay, she's like, this has not even losing her own son has not tainted her soul to the point where she would want that direct retribution on someone who was not the perpetrator. So that was a good, that was a nice reminder for me before things really start to slide and go left in the first way.
Yeah. And going into episode 2, we see you said Rhaenyra's quiet rage, but Aegon's rage is not quiet at all. Like Rhaenyra is trying her best to hold it together, trying, but she is falling apart because her son just passed. But you see Aegon, like he's like flipping shit over the table, like he's pissed, like he is, and everybody knows it, like he is, and rightly so because his son just died. So he has every right to be angry as a parent, but at the same time, you have to realize that the people around you were the ones who caused this. And just seeing Team Green's reaction to how to deal with the aftermath. Like, Aegon, he pretty much hangs every rat catcher he could find until he gets to Cheese. And
Yeah, just for him killing all the rat catchers based off of the information that was given to him. That was.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. Yeah. So just where did I leave off?
You was talking about the hanging of the rat catchers.
Yeah, so Aegon, hanging the rat catchers and pretty much trying to get retribution for his son, and then Helena doesn't want an open, doesn't want a procession. Like she wants to grieve her son privately, but everyone's like, no, you need to do it publicly so people can see what has happened, so they can be on your side. And I was kind of like, okay. My thing is like, yes, it's unfortunate that Prince Jaehaerys died, but at least you have a body to bury. Team Green, at least you have a body to bury. Rhaenyra did not have a body to bury. All she had was the cloak, or a little bit of the cloak of her son in the wing of Arrax. That's it.
Damn,
That's
Avius saying that it don't make a damn of a difference. What happened? My son should be buried, not just his clothes and the dragon.
Not in the stomach of a dragon. not dissolving in the stomach of a dragon. Like, you feel me? Like I said, it is definitely unfortunate that Prince Jaehaerys had to pass, but at least they have a body. Rhaenyra did not have that. She did not have the opportunity to truly bury her son.
And can we talk about how much of a bitch Cole was this episode? Essentially doing all, like, once again just showing just how terrible of a person he fucking is. Like, it's his fault the prince was killed because he was fucking Alicent. So then he just goes and he just starts being a whiny little bitch to all of the rest of the cloaks. It's like,
it's like, where were you? He was like, where were you when when the prince was murdered? Like, where were you? Like, where were you, sir? Like, that pissed me off.
It sets up the work, like, one of the most, and I think he did it purposefully, because people have been, because in the episode they question, oh, I'm gonna send this twin to pretend to be the other twin so that they could assassinate Rhaenyra. And Otto calls that out as a dumbass idea, because why would that work? It's too many variables to that for it to work. And he was correct. Personally, I feel like Cole knew it wasn't going to work, and he just needed somebody to toss to the wolves. Because even with the accusations that, oh, where were you when the prince was slain? And, they turned it back in his face, and basically Cole was just trying to cover his tracks, in my opinion, to do it. And so either the plan was going to work, highly unlikely, or they could galvanize around the sacrifice and say, oh, well, this, he went to, slay Rhaenyra, the Kinslayer, and to avenge the late prince and everything like that. And I just want to know how y'all felt about that whole sequence of events.
First of all, I thought it was hilarious that the look that Otto gave when Aegon was like, yeah, he's gonna pretend to be his twin brother, is brilliant. And Otto just turns around, look at him like, you idiot. I can't believe in my grandson, you idiot. And then the part when Otto's talking about all the sacrifice he made to get Aegon on the throne, and Aegon's like, my father made me king. Well, he talking about how Viserys was a good man, and and he was actually a pretty just ruler. And Aegon's like, he put me on the throne. And Otto's like, is that what you think? Like, see, you want to sit here say your grandson's an idiot, but you put him on the throne. You put him there. This is all on you. You usurped Rhaenyra's right to be on the throne because she was a female. And this is what you get. You get an idiot on the throne now, so you have to deal with their consequences. But, of course, Otto got fired as the Hand.
Second time. Only person to be fired twice as Hand.
And gave it to and Aegon gave it to Kristen Cole. And Kristen was like, I don't want that. Like, he looked at like, what? Me? No. But Otto finally realized the like, oh, we made a mistake. Like we shouldn't have put as soon as he said your father was right about you. Like, yes. Why do you think he chose Rhaenyra until his dying breath? Why do you think he said Rhaenyra until the night he died? He knew Rhaenyra was his one true heir. He had people swear fealty to it. Like the first episode, houses swore their loyalty to her. Like, of course he knew what he was doing. Y'all just didn't like that he did that. So that's why y'all started doing all this backstabbing and all this stuff to get her off. And now you put him on. And now you're regretting that decision. And that's what I find funny about the whole thing.
What about you, Mike?
Michael?
Next.
And let's get into Daemon. So Rhaenyra, like going to what Q was talking about Rhaenyra, how she was handling the situation. Like, I would never do something like that. I would never try and murder an innocent child, especially my sister's child. Like, Helena's the best of all of us, so why would I do that to her? Like, and then she's like, who would do this? And everyone's looking like, and then Damon's just looking like, what I do? He's just looking like he didn't do nothing. And just that scene that Matt and Emma performed after that, just Daemon feeling some type of way about Rhaenyra being Viserys' heir, and how Rhaenyra was saying that Viserys couldn't trust him, just like she can't trust him, which is why he gets sent to Harrenhal. So he could get the army from the Riverlands there. And I was like, how many times did Daemon have to get exiled?
Yeah. Which, by the way, Mike, I got a beef with you.
What's the beef now?
Okay, why you say it like that? Like you now tired? Like,
I'm not tired, but what's the beef now?
The beef now is that you said that this man was going to go to Harrenhal and kill a lot of folks, and not a single person was killed.
I didn't say that.
You said You said.
I said what I said was the next episode. A lot of folks was going to die. I didn't say Harrenhal.
You say what you said you saw the clip that man was gonna be at and what he was gonna do.
Right, because you was like, you said something about, you was like, why are y'all saying that? That's a spoiler. We both was like, girl, you saw that man going to that place.
Yeah, so
don't try to get me to talk. Don't try to get me to talk. Don't be trying to get me to talk. No. I'm waiting on certain episode. I'm ready for the last two episodes.
So we get to see more of Baela and Jace's relationship in episode 2,
which is so beautiful.
I love it because, and also Rhaenyra and Baela's relationship as well.
Yeah.
Because after Rhaenyra and Daemon have their argument, Daemon and Baela walking across each other in the hallway, and Baela's like, looks at him like, father? And Daemon would barely acknowledge her. Like, at all. And so she goes to Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra's like, Baela, look, you're the only one I trust. Look, I need you to get on Moon Dancer, scout the area. Don't go too low, just observe. That's it. That's all I want you to do. And Baela's like, I'll be vigilant. And then that's how you know that Baela has Rhaenyra's confidence. And how she trusts Baela. And I like that. And her and Jace, when Baylor's shooting the crossbow, and her and Jace have that little moment talking about fathers. It's beautiful. Because Beta's talking about how much she doesn't like Damon, like she thinks she hates him. And Jace's like, well, fathers are complicated. And that's when they start talking about Jace's relationship with his fathers. Now, there was just a nice little scene between the two.
Fantastic scene. And I feel like I get a lot of leg work in showing the updated relationships between the characters now. Now this is still the cusp of the war, not necessarily the full-fledged war. And then as we get to the later episodes, that's more reinforced. But I want to talk about Corliss because throughout the first couple of episodes, there's been this subtle B plot of him setting up a Navy fleet for the war. And at first, I really didn't know where it was going because, you see him talking to the man who saved his life at sea towards the end of season 1. And we start to see the relationship between them. And we're going to get more into that as we get closer to episode 4. But I just felt like that was a very just seeing that side of the conflict. Well, I won't say conflict, but I'll say this side of Rhaenyra's army being built up. I feel like I hope rather that this becomes a very significant counterpunch to the war that's going to really kick off now that shit has hit the fan.
And episode 3, we pretty much get Rhaenyra having to. Well, hold on. The end of episode 2, we get the two brothers fighting and they kill themselves. I mean, they kill each other. Well, no. One kills the other. And then the other kills himself because he didn't want to have to fight his brother. And it was just one of those, like, damn. Like, it goes back to the princess in Game of Thrones, Princess Shireen. In Game of Thrones, when she's talking about the Dance of the Dragons, when she said, brothers kill brothers. Dragon killed dragons, and it really brought into perspective of what she was talking about. And it's like, you don't want to have to go get your brother, which is why the one that Sir Kristen sent didn't want to go, because he knew what was going to have to happen if he faced his brother when he was there. And he killed him. And he felt so bad that he had to kill himself. And it was just a sad scene all around. And Rhaenyra's just in the back like, oh my god. Like, what is happening? You're muted, Q.
It's a lot going on, some may say.
Yep. So season 3. I mean, not season 3. What we're talking about? Episode 3 is Rhaenyra pretty much sending her children off to the Vale because she was attacked. She doesn't want her children to be in danger, and so she entrusts Rhaena with the protection of her younger brothers. As well as Dragon Eggs. There's 4 of them. One of them is going to be her dragon warning. I'm excited for that because before Daenerys, Rhaena is the last dragon rider. and just seeing how Rhaena really protected them, and her descendants protected them all the way through Daenerys. Just seeing those eggs again, it was like, oh my god, there they go.
The goats.
The goats. And then just seeing Rhaena not want to go. Because she thinks that, she's pretty much useless to her. But in reality, she's doing the most important thing. She just doesn't realize yet that she is. Like, the queen is entrusting you with your little brothers and well, I don't want to give anything away. But just she's entrusting the rest of the children to Rhaena's care, because she knows she's going to take care of them. And he's like, well, why is Baela staying? And he's like, I need her because she's because Baela's a lethal dragon rider. Because Baela, according to the books, Baela would ride dragons every day. Just like her dad. She's like her dad in that way, and her mom in that way. And my favorite thing of this episode is when Christopher and Alice's brother, their people are they're riding their horses through the opening. And Baela and Moon come from the clouds and just start chasing them.
Yeah, that was that was the best part. Like, the way it was, the intensity of her, riding down. She should have just burnt the ass up.
Yep.
But that ain't how the story goes. So I get it. But that was very intense. It was very intense to see that and actually see her get into character as our dragon rider. So that fierceness was definitely there.
Because here's my thing about that whole she should have burnt them. She didn't want to go against Rhaenyra that much, because Daemon already has done that.
Right.
And she wants to prove that she's not like her father. So pretty much, if the queen says, don't do this, if I break the rules, I'm not going to break them that much. Which she did. She just chased them into the forest. But Baela wanted to show them, look, y'all in our territory, we're going to get y'all.
And plus, I believe it was an honor thing, because I feel like what they've showcased these first couple of episodes is the discrepancy in honor at this point in time between the Greens and the Blacks. See, the Greens is tactics outside of Daemon, obviously sending the assassins. The Greens' plans have been more underhanded, more cloak and daggery than the Blacks. But I feel like that's going to change, because there's a reason why people have been saying Team Black is Team War Crimes. So I just find that interesting at this point.
Each side is committed war crimes.
Right. I'm about to say, it's just, I don't know. It's just that in this great times right now, it's getting that lit back for a lit back at this point.
Because I'm telling you, at the very end of this episode, like you at the point, this is such a sitcom scene. When Rhaenyra is dressed as a septa, and she's in King's Landing, and she goes to the sept to where Alicent's praying, and her and Alicent have that talk. And Alicent is talking about how Viserys wanted Aegon to be king because he said he was the prince that was promised. And Rhaenyra was like, he used those exact words? It's like, yes. And Rhaenyra was like, he meant Aegon the Conqueror. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, that's who he meant. And he's like, have you heard the Song of Ice and Fire? And Alicent's like, no. Like, so we all know this was based on this whole war pretty much started on a misunderstanding because Alicent got the wrong Aegon. And just seeing Alicent's face, realizing that she made that mistake and not doing anything to fix it. And it's like that self-righteousness, that hypocrisy that people cannot stand about her was showing in that scene. And then Rhaenyra's like, okay, you're not gonna, like that face that Rhaenyra made at the end, like, okay, you're not gonna do anything about it. Okay, you want Rhaenyra the Cruel? I'll give you Rhaenyra the Cruel. It's on now. It's on like popcorn. Like that was the look that Rhaenyra gave after that. It's like, okay, it is what it is at this point, because I have tried so many times to be nice to you, to try and squash this beef, but you just won't let it go. The fact that you made me walk with my newborn child, I just had a newborn child, and making me walk all the way upstairs, knowing damn well I needed rest. That's right. That so many others. Number one, marrying her father wasn't really her fault, but that you always berating me about my children not being, not having Valyrian blood, not having true Valyrian blood, because you and your children called them bastards. Then you help usurp my throne, and I'm still being nice to you. Then, after your son killed my son, I'm here in silence. And I even sent you a letter after your grandson passed.
Even though that's how you know who the respectable woman is and who the true mother is. No shade, because I done went through all this, and I'm still coming to you being like having some type of calmness to me, child.
And I'm glad you brought up the point of true mother, because one thing we haven't really touched on is how Alicent treats Aegon so poorly. Like, when Aegon is in his room crying about the loss of his son, Alicent just puffs and puffs and then stomps out the room to fucking get D-downed by Cole. And I'm just like, your son is grieving the loss of his son, and you can't even muster up a here damn hug for him. And yet you want to be the woe is me, I can't believe these things are happening. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Yada, yada, yada. Just big, dumb energy happening tonight. Like, that's a bar. That's a bar, Mike.
All she had to do after Rhaenyra said that was go to Aegon and be like, look, there's been a misunderstanding.
But would he have heard? But realistically, would he have heard it? If Alicent would have said,
that's true. That is true. He probably was like, "No, I'm the true king. I'm the true king."
Because the one thing that in my mind when she told Alicent about the prophecy was that I was thinking in the back of my mind, well, Daemon didn't even believe her when she mentioned prophecy about the song "Ice and Fire." So this just goes back to my one true critique of the series was that he did not set up his bloodline to fully understand the prophecy. And I get why. Because he wanted to protect the integrity of it. But considering it takes about, what, 500 years?
200
years.
Are you talking about Viserys?
Yes, Viserys.
About 200 years.
Yeah, considering it takes that long for anyone to really like. I mean, of course, the Starks and the Night Watch believe the prophecy because that's why they're there. But anyone of high standing in King's Landing to like, it literally takes her pulling up on the damn dragon after winter came, literally, before folks was like, oh yeah, we really gotta do some shit about that. So it's like a sad realization. Even though Allison and her, like, you can still tell that Allison believes Rhaenyra that, damn, maybe I got this wrong and that I shouldn't have taken Sirius's words at face value considering how things are turning out. But it is what it is. But we can get to episode 4 because that's the most recent one, and that's the one that has the most. It's the talk of the town. 2 days later.
Okay. So, the Battle of Rook's Rest. So, the Greens are pretty much taking territory in the Riverlands at this point. And they're trying to get this small castle in Rook's Rest. So, everyone agrees, okay, it's time to use the dragons. Like, we have to use the dragons now. It's like, we need to send a dragon out there. Rhaenyra doesn't want to send Jace because he's the heir to the throne. Baela is out. I don't really know why Baela didn't go, but maybe because she didn't have enough battle experience. She was only there. She only did the flyby, and that was it. And Rhaenys was like, look, I have the most experience. I need to go. It has to be me. And just the fact that she kind of knew what was going to happen. Just the affection that her and Meleys had before she even took off. That, that hug. That, that little, the little, stroke on Meleys' back. Just stuff, little affectionate stuff like that showed, yeah, she's probably not coming back. But if you read the books, she definitely is not coming back. And just seeing how Rhaenys, the queen, who never was, knowing that's what people thought of her, how she really stood up for Rhaenyra whenever everybody was always saying that Rhaenyra wasn't capable, this and that, Rhaenys pretty much always had her back. She and like at the beginning of the episode when Baela was pretty much leading the war council and all these men were like, what are you talking about? Blah 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 blah. She pretty much had Baela's back and had Rhaenyra's back, helping them run that council meeting. Because those men, they were like, y'all don't know what y'all doing. And just Rhaenys pretty much having to put them in check. And she was always like the silent leader type. Like, whenever Rhaenys spoke, you listen. Because everything she said pretty much always, if not all the time. Because when she took that shot at Luke, I was like, okay, now. Okay, you're doing too much. Because that was not what started this. Luke cutting Aemon's eye was not what started all this. It was not.
What started all of this?
Trying to usurp Rhaenyra's throne after Aegon was born. That's what started this.
Hell, I'll even go further back than that. It was Cole killing Joffrey, if I'm being real.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
If we keeping it all the way above, it was Cole killing Joffrey and Alicent fucking bringing him into the fold. Because I ain't forget shit. I ain't forgetting none of that. Rhaenyra and fuck, what's his name? Valise. They had a fucking plan. They was finna stick to it. They had a plan. They was finna stick to it. And fucking Cole, bitch ass, cucked ass, screwed it all the way the fuck up. So that's my tipping point.
Yeah.
Episode 4 was beautiful.
It was good.
Beautifully like shot. What I liked about it was the the build up. I feel you got that emotion still seeping through each episode because of what teams have done to each other and everything. Then you also got the infighting as well. Because Jace was pissed his mama was gone.
Oh yeah.
But as she said,
he was.
he was hot about that, but she shut that down real quick. But what I like, it was like I said, it was beautifully crafted for it to start off with all this drama and all this little, and then you also got Damon going through it with the damn ghost castle and stuff. Like, it's just so much happening. Then all of a sudden, it's like this dead ass silence, and this big ass battle takes place. Oh, so good, so good,
and there
so
was
good.
In the beginning of episode 3, there was a battle between the Blackwoods and I can't remember. You don't see it.
That was crazy though. I wish they would. I do kind of wish they would have showed us that battle.
Because man, you see all those people lying dead. Like, damn.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop all the way back in episode. What was it? Episode 2? No, it was episode 3. That was the cold.
It was 3.
Yeah, it was 3. It was the beginning of 3.
But yeah, when they did that cut, I was like, damn. And then to see that they was still getting busy all that time later, I'm like, damn. But I want to touch on something real quick because we got to talk about the MVP rate. God, y'all, these NS's names be fucking me up, and I also haven't eaten, so y'all gonna have to excuse me. Taco Bell will be calling my name after the stream. Rhaenys, she was the MVP of the episode.
She was. Eve Best, you were amazing. You were amazing.
I won't say what mutual spoiled me on what happened, but I will say that a mutual spoiled me. And not heavily spoiled me. It wasn't even intentional. It was me putting 2 and 2 together. But that did not lessen the impact of what happened. It did make me question something that also happened at the same time, but that didn't really. It's a nitpick more than a complaint. But I was shook when they basically said that the I mentioned him earlier, the boatman who saved Corliss's life, that was his illegitimate son.
Mm-hmm. Him and the other one.
Yeah, so it's both of them. It's his brother too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't put that together. I just thought it was him. There's a tweet that's been circulating that said Catherine Stark could never. And
Catherine hated John. Like, she did not like that boy at all. Like, she did not like that boy at all.
But Rhaenys was the MVP of it all. There's a moment where it was almost like a pre-fight show, like pre-fight entrance between the two people who was going to be doing the dance, because the name of the episode, come to find out, I didn't know it until afterwards that was called the Dance of the Dragons. And like seeing the two key casualties, more or less, of the Dance of the Dragons basically get juxtaposed of them getting on their dragons. And I won't even really say it was a juxtaposition, because they both, if you really go back and you look at it, they both paid attention. They both had the same feeling about their dragons, which was, care and love, and it was kind of, but it was for different reasons, more or less. Did y'all pick up on that?
Yes.
They both had a different bond. Yeah.
Rhaenys more courageous. Like that was like her sister in arms type of way, like daughter that she's fighting with, like who's like something like that. And I feel like Aegon and Sunfire is like his friend.
Yeah, bro, his brothers. Like, because I was like, because I was taken aback that Aegon was like so happy and Sunfire was happy to see Aegon. I wasn't expecting that relationship.
I want to say I do think, and I saw a lot of, and Katie said this as well. They do have a bond and a relationship prior up to leading to this. So there's a lot of like, far as Sunfire and Aegon, they do have a relationship. So when we did see that, it does kind of look like this, brotherly love, but it's a connection between them because each rider is connected to their dragon. So I think we missed out on that behind the scenes of how their relationship is formed, though. So.
And can we talk about? Someone pointed this out on Twitter. I thought that was interesting. At the council meeting, Aemon comes in and he starts speaking High Valyrian. And Aegon, he cannot keep up. Oh, he cannot speak High Valyrian. That was funny. And someone brought up that Rhaenys and Aemon both speak High Valyrian to their dragon. But Aegon speaks English to his dragon, Sunfire. I thought that was interesting.
And it kind of, now that you bring that up, do you think that played a part in their basically being out of their depth?
Yeah, because I think Aegon wanted to go to prove himself. Like he was a soldier, in the battlefield. Like he, as far as using his dragon as a weapon. Like he's never had to do that. But he wanted to so bad that he really didn't know how to use Sunfire because Meleys was ready for his ass. Like she clawed his stomach. like Meleys was giving him the 1-2. Meleys was giving him that word. And Sunfire just lucky that was there. And I do think Aegon was over his head for going because he was drunk. He was probably feeling some type of way. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get on Sunfire. I'm gonna go anyway. So not having that kind of battle.
I just want to finally bring this point full circle because at the top of the episode, Min brought up Allison, her plan B. And I was a dummy because I didn't realize that's what the fuck she was doing until about the end of the episode.
What?
I'm a dummy.
How you didn't pay that? That was cues on season 1 to. I was like, I knew what it was.
I literally went like, wait a minute, why does this seem so familiar? And why she got hot coals to her stomach? And I'm like,
she got pregnant off of Rhaenyra's sloppy seconds.
Cole put a bun in that oven. It was Cold World. He made like J. Cole and got out the beef real quick.
Girl, shut up.
Said, you know what? This is my fault. If you got anything for me, I'ma just take it. I'ma back on. I don't want nothing to do with this. Oh man. But no, I was like, that's what she was doing because I'm going back to even Game of Thrones. I think it was Game of Thrones, the House of Dragon season 1, where they gave old girl the damn key so she would lose the baby. And I'm like, oh, that's what this is. And I was like, damn, that shit crazy. But it would get even crazier.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future. Like, I'm ready. I've been trying not to read all the chapters. I've basically been reading every chapter of something that happens in the episode just to, get a book idea of it. But I'm excited to see where this story goes. I do think it'll be 4 seasons.
That's what I think.
Depending on what happens, how this close out. I know we got our renewed for season 3, but I think we might get 4 unless they just cram everything into season 3. But I'm excited. I'm super excited. And I'm excited for all the other prequels that are coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like after, okay, I'm gonna break this down for people watching. So, as Sunfire and Melis are fighting, Vhagar, that scaly bitch, comes in and pretty much kills Rhaenys and Melis. I can't stand her, but when the conquest show, I'm gonna go for my girl. But right now, Vhagar, I can't stand you. I cannot stand you. But come the conquest show, I will stand. But right now, I can't stand you. But Vhagar comes, does what she does, and kills Rhaenys. Rhaenys went out, a true dragon rider, fighting till the very end. And then, Aegon, after Melis pretty much does damage to Sunfire, and Vhagar pretty much, Aemon, Dracarys, all of them, and Sunfire and Aegon fall, and Aegon's pretty much damaged beyond, he's burnt, and Sunfire is pretty much, he can't fly anymore. And I want to see next episode. I want to see the emotional toll of that for Team Black. Like, okay, this is like the second casualty y'all have suffered as far as death of this war. So what are y'all gonna do now? Like, how is Corlys? His wife is gone. Baela, her grandma's gone. Like, one of Rhaenyra's biggest supporters is gone. Like, what is going to be the emotional fallout of that? Are we going to see that stoic Rhaenyra? Are we going to see that, that Rhaenyra that's focused on war and getting done what needs to be done? Like, is this going to be her final? Okay, you pushed me too far. Like, now y'all about to get it. Like, Daemon, how is he going? Even though him and Rhaenys have had, their tanglings in the past, but how is he going to feel that Rhaenys is gone, because she pretty much took care of his daughter because he didn't want to? And Team Green, what are they going to do now that Aegon is damaged? Like, well, then he's going to be, and he's pretty much can't do anything right now. So what are they going to do? So I'm curious to see that. Like, that's what I'm interested in.
Same. I will say that, to tie back to what I alluded earlier, I was pissed that they I didn't think Aegon died. I know in Game of Thrones no one is safe to a fault, but I was like, I internally said it. I was like, this is the most tropey thing that traditional trope that I'm probably ever going to see a Game of Thrones property ever do, because they probably will not. That will probably subvert my expectations if given the opportunity to do so again. So, like, when Aegon, got burnt and fell, like, even before you told me, Avia, that he had the Valyrian steel armor and therefore he survived, I was like, headcanon. I was like, wait a minute, Rey in Game of Thrones, she survived being burnt by dragon's fire. So it's like, well, I'm guessing everybody of that will have that same. Every Targaryen will be able to do that. So, it is what it is. I hate that Rhaenys went out. Period. I was hoping to see her on the board a little bit longer, but just that whole battle was epic. Not sorry that it happened to Aegon, because he's still, even though he suffered his own personal losses, he's still overall a bitch. So yeah, Aemon is a bitch. She's still a bitch. Vagar, I don't want to I hate being disrespectful to an older lady, but she is still very much an old bird. I'll give that respect. But yeah, Cole's ass should be grass because the king is on death's door because of his stupidity, more or less. So, Mike.
Michael.
Oh, I was muted the whole time. Oh no. I really just said a whole spiel. Dang, I love the Dance of Dragons. It was a lot of emotions and a lot of feels. It was very intense. That battle scene, it took me there. And then I do wish that we could have got the true scene because I wanted to see how they all would have meshed together in the air. But what they did give us, it was still just enough for us to enjoy and have that intense feeling. And then seeing Rhaenys fall like that, I mean, granted, she could have got away, but the fact that she just sat up there and turned back around, and instead of saying the Carter, she said attack. She was thinking smart. She was thinking smart. But it was very good. 10 out of 10 actually for this episode.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. I'm just ready to see, like I said, just the repercussions of all this, because they parade Melissa's head in the next episode. I'm like, see, y'all disrespecting these dragons, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
So, let me just say this. And this is going to be controversial. And this may not be politically correct. And this may even shake the table a bit. All right. Are y'all ready for it?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think we're in the area now where they're going to start doing changes from the book, because this was a change from the book. The Dance of the Dragons was changed from the book. And since George said that there's two universes, there's the book universe and the TV universe, I think we're not out of the woods yet when it comes to significant changes. Not thematic changes or things like that, but like changes to how we perceive and view these events in the story. So I don't think we're out of the woods yet. And I'm ready to be shook.
I mean, that's why I've been out there every episode that night, like Sunday night into Monday, I'm reading chapters of what happened in the episode just to get the book perspective. But I feel like the whole entire season has been a change from the books.
Oh yeah, because Baylor.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad.
No, you good.
Baylor is the one who hurts Aegon and damages Sunfire to the point to where he can't fly again. That's Baylor. In the books, that's Baylor. But I'm kind of glad they gave it to Rhaenys, just as a, if we're going to go out, we're going to give her a good storyline. So I'm curious as to what they're going to do with Baylor now. Like, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I think we good though. That's why I like going back and forth between reading pages and just learning what happens. But I still think they're doing a great job. It's not like them last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, I'll tell you that.
Which I was shook to find out Mike didn't enjoy.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it ain't, once you find out stuff, and I don't know, that's a topic for another day. books versus movies, or book versus TV series. That's a topic right there for you.
Yeah, all three of us Game of Thrones, and well, four. When Aaron comes back, all four of us Game of Thrones enthusiasts talking about Game of Thrones, and wait for to do it.
Child.
You gotta finish watching them first.
Anyway, I DoorDash and I'm hungry, so on my end, I'm gonna sign on out.
Well, I mean, it's a good time to end it in general. We hit all the points. Before we all go, is there anything we want to promote in the future? Any upcoming projects and videos?
Hopefully I can do my Maxine review tonight for MD at the Movies. If you haven't, check out all three of us have posted one. What AVUD did Bad Boys, Q did Furiosa, and I did not Maxine. I did A Quiet Place Day One.
And I did Inside Out too.
Huh?
And I did
you did Inside Out too. Oh shoot!
And where can they find those videos?
On TikTok.
Yes, if you're watching on YouTube, our description has all of our links, our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, I will be live tomorrow, continuing the what if journey of what if Michael Jordan got drafted to the Golden State Warriors in the 2010 NBA season. The next, I believe we're playing the 2010 Portland Trailblazers. I forget who was on the Trailblazers in 2010, but it's probably going to hit me like a wave when I'll play. For those who don't know, Mike dropped 77 on the Timberwolves this past Friday. Got 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, playing 45 minutes. So come see what's going on. We might play a little bit more. We got a new Marvel vs. Capcom collection on the horizon. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So y'all might see some games that are attached to those. Who knows?
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Peace on out.
Peace.